Don't open or close doors when using taxis in Japan. In the past, Japan's taxis were smaller, and the drivers would open the door for passengers as a sign of respect. But as cars became larger and streets busier, a solution was needed for the rapidly developing country. In 1964, when Tokyo was hosting the Olympic Games, a solution was found: the automatic car door. It might feel strange for you to not close the door after you, but if you do so, then the door may not close correctly, and the driver may be unsure if it's safe to proceed. To enjoy this feature and not inconvenience your driver, just don't open and close the doors. The only exception to this is the front seat, which might not always be automatic, because it's typical for Japanese to only sit in the back seat of a taxi unless traveling with a large party. However, I also don't actually recommend that you use the taxis in Japan unless you have no other option. Taxi services in Japan is by far the most expensive form of travel. A trip from Narita Airport to Shinjuku, in the heart of Tokyo, will cost upwards of 28,500 yen or $212. And now you might see why my first tip was to carry cash on you at all times in Japan for just such an emergency. Trains and buses are a fraction of the price, and unfortunately, Japan has no real form of ride-sharing due to taxi lobbyists. Using Uber in Japan will just summon a normal taxi to your location with the normal price. Number 4. The language barrier. A common concern for any traveler is, will you be able to communicate and find your way while traveling in Japan? And fortunately, you don't really need to worry here. In an effort to increase international tourism, Japan has updated nearly every directional sign with both English and Japanese. Combined with modern apps for navigation and translation, it is quite possible to travel and even live in Japan without knowing the language. That said, there are a few phrases that are incredibly helpful and only take a few minutes to learn. Sumimasen will be the most useful word you'll ever learn. You can use it to say sorry, excuse me, or get someone's attention. For example, if you are at a restaurant and want to order something, stick your hand up and say sumimasen to get the waiter's attention. This might feel a little awkward at first depending on your culture, but this is how the locals do it. Almost everyone will have heard the phrase arigato, which means thank you, but you can make this more polite by saying arigato gozaimasu. Hi means yes in Japan, and while ie is taught as no, it can sound a little harsh. Instead, you can say daijoubu, which means it's okay, and can also be used for no instead, such as if someone handed you something, you could say daijoubu, means it's okay, I don't want it. A couple phrases that are useful are eigo wakarimasu ka? Do you speak English? Doko desu ka? Where is? For example, toire doko desu ka? Where is the toilet? Toire is one of Japan's many loan words, and that is a secret tip to communicating in Japan. If you find yourself in a tricky situation, you can attempt to elongate a word to see if it makes sense in Japanese.